All right, we've been working on the home page, and I wanted to make sure you understood the difference between something that's published and something that's a draft. I know that's obvious, but sometimes I'm looking for things and I can't find them. If I click up at the top of this, I've got 4 different categories, and drafts, obviously I have none. But if this home page were a draft, that's where it would be. And because this is not a draft, it's showing up on the web every time we make a change. So if you're working on a home page and you don't want it to show up, then shift this to draft, which is up at the top between preview and update is the switch to draft, right? So we may not want to switch to draft, and I'm hoping I didn't really click that. So obviously I'm going to come in here at these different spaces and see if I can't play with them some more. So on this one, I'm looking at this yellow space now, and it's a pretty big space, and so I want to make sure that I catch this color first and then move from there. So you can see that over on the right I've got color settings, and I've got a background color that's a big yellow. So I want to change that again. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to say, let's try the medium. Well, let's try the dark purple first and see what it looks like. So, and the reason I'm doing that is because I've got white text there, so I want to kind of think about this. So 3C, 3C, 6.3. And by the way, when I get that particular set of numbers in, I can also get a color wheel going here where I can change things up into, say, maybe a lighter color and get a different hex value. But I'm really going to start with this one just to see. But you can start to alter something if it doesn't make you happy. So I'm going to enter that. I thought I was going to... Oh, yeah, I did. Now I've got a problem with my headers here, that they're the wrong color, obviously. So I'm going to come in here and say maybe white or a cream. So I'm just going into color settings and seeing if I like those. Right, and if I'm okay with that, then I'm going to come in and say, well, what about these things here where I've got an image that I don't necessarily like anymore? And that gets us into clicking on headings or images, and we can see, oh, this is a default, and it's just a media and text thing, and I'm going to have to figure out a different image than this one. So I might have to make some things, and that's easy for me to do. And just in case that's not necessarily obvious to you, I can go to something called the Open Noun project, which is open source information, and it'll give you download free vector icons, and I can download something that's more in keeping with what I want there, and then upload that to the site. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm just trying to get the basics here of the colors and the different contents. Obviously, I don't really need to have what parents say here, so I'm going to have a different thing going on here. So it might be tours we recommend. I'm giving information on how to take a tour. And then this is here again, and I'm going to have to click around on it until I get it to have the whole box highlighted, which is just a pain in the butt. Again, if you don't quite know where that is, up at the top I can go on that toolbar. There's a plus sign that's in blue, and then over on the right is a 3 lines in a way that tells you where you are, and it'll give you the block navigation for that area. So here, I don't really want this background to be this color, so I can come over and say, let me get a custom color here again, jump up to the top and say, I'm going to go for my lavender right now, DCC, DCC. So I might not like this, but let's see what it does. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, look at us. We've got our little lavender thing, and then I'm going to replace my image with something that's more in keeping with the things I like. So I might try a woman on a bike. right? Again, I can play with that as much as I want. I can say I want that height to be 600 again, so I can get her whole framing on it. And then I'm down at the bottom, and I'm just playing with color here. So I've got this particular thing selected, and I can come over and say, oh, let's give it that same DCC on the background. Right, and that gets me what I want. Obviously, I've got this working, and so for my button, I might want my button to have a tan color on it, so I might say EDE6E2. Yeah, that's working better. I want the text color to be just a gray. And then I'm going to go to the next one and say, all right, I want this not to be a picture of, I don't know what those are, seats in a room. I want this picture to be maybe this one. Yeah, that's just a person on a bike, right? And then I've got a background, I've got an overlap on that so that I don't have to, I could do overlay that's a different color. I could go in with my lavender color. Mostly I'm just trying to get this all sorted out. I don't think this purple works, actually, so I might come in and say, let me get this color to be a different color. And make this a little lighter. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Oops, that didn't work. Yeah, I like that color better. Maybe a little lighter. Yeah, and a little grayer. Yeah, that's what I want. And so now I've got like all of these things kind of looking the same in sort of the way they feel.